StrapDown.
I'm going to do Pauli Murray. Have you heard of Pauli Murray?
No.
The Reverend Dr. Pauli
No.
Murray. Okay. I have a picture. This is a picture.
Wait, yes, I do. Yes.
You see
Yes.
the picture?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
so
Okay,
you're familiar.
Yes.
So I wasn't gonna do like all the childhood and like all that stuff like that. I'm just gonna like skip ahead, to like the fun stuff. Okay, so the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray was the first African American to earn a JDS from Yale Law School and also the co-founder of the National Organization for Women. And in 1977, Murray became the first African American woman to be ordained as an Episcopal priest. Did you know that? You're a priest?
First of all, I did not know Episcopalians had priests.
No, I did.
Yeah, and I'm allegedly Episcopalian.
Oh, God. I'm sure you're so great at it, though.
No.
Oh. So I wanted to do someone like kind of different because many of Murray's like contributions to the civil rights movement have been kind of swept under the rug and were erased because being in like a same gender relationship and someone that is also like gender non-conforming was not really the right fit with the civil rights movement.
Respectability politics.
There you go. Which I'm not even gonna know that part right there. But anyway, so just skipping into like their life as like a young adult. So like in 1944, Pauli graduated from Harvard University, top of their law class, the only like woman, at least identifying or perceived as a woman in that class. And they said that during that time at Harvard was when they first realized how being a Black person and being perceived as a woman was its own separate struggle. And they coined the phrase Jane Crow to
That's what I know them from.
From the Jane Crow.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how they described their experience at that time. And so because of that, like coming from like Howard, there was like this fellowship that, they were supposed to be able to get into Harvard, but Harvard denied them because of their gender. So they ultimately ended up going to UC Berkeley School of Law in California, where they published the state's law on race and color. Have you heard of that?
The state's law on race and color.
Yeah, the state's law on race and color. That's what they published, and that was regarded by Thurgood Marshall as like the Bible of civil rights work in litigation. So, big shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so from there, they went on to earn their JSD, which I had to look that up. I was like, what does that stand for? That stands for the Doctor of the Science of Law from Yale.
Doctor of
the Science of Law from Yale, and they were the first African American to receive that degree.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was really cool. It was really dope. Just a badass when it came to like law and like civil rights.
Civil liberties,
yes. So they wrote a lot of stuff. They had a lot of publications like here and abroad. They did some work in like Ghana, like all over the world. So I was like, let me just pick out like my favorite little like tidbits about them. So in the early 1960s, Murray worked like really closely with Bernard Rustin, Martin Luther King.
Bayard Rustin.
Oh, sorry. But it was a little bit of like tension with them because they criticized men holding all of the leadership roles. Yeah. In the civil rights. And so they even like wrote them a letter about how they were just basically baffled and perturbed at how Black Negro women played such an important role in like the grassroots level of the civil rights movement, but basically held no power in the civil rights movement when it came to like making like national like decisions and laws and things like that. And so that was not like cool with them. So I just like the idea of them just giving Dr. King the business.
Yeah. What was the response?
I think she just kind of.
She just wrote the letter and they never responded.
No.
Oh, Bayard Rustin.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then in the 1966, Pauli co-founded the National Organization for Women, but later decided to move away from them as well.
Oh, well, why?
Because, which I found interesting, because they didn't feel that now appropriately addressed the issues of Black and working class women.
No! No! Not the white feminist organization being white feminist.
I'm so glad that was an issue in the 1960s and no longer.
And no, and then now it's over. We did it.
It's over. We did it. Okay. So then in 1977, Murray became, wanted to really like get back into like their Christian roots and their beliefs. And so they became the first African-American perceived woman to be ordained as an Episcopal priest. Yeah. And they worked in a parish in Washington, D.C. and basically was there until they retired until 1982. And they passed away in 1985 of pancreatic cancer. But I found them like very interesting. And many historians also believe that, had the language identified existed at the time that they would probably identify as a trans man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So,
not non-binary, trans man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I took all this information from the Pauli Murray Center for History and Social Justice.
Yes.
Let me take my sources. And I don't know if, like I said, the identifying as a trans man, that was like, what the historians say, but like, on their page, they use like he, she pronouns. So it's like, very interesting. And I think they're just basing that off of just like, journal entries and things like that they wrote. So I found it interesting because I had never heard of Pauli Murray, but I just found it interesting and just fascinating, especially because of the whole respectability politics of the civil rights movement is something that just like infuriates me. And like we were talking about it like yesterday. I was watching Barbershop. The scene where they're like, Rosa Parks ain't do nothing but sit her ass down.
Yes. Yes, I do.
There are people that sat down before her. Like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? And at the time I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, like that's hilarious. But no, like
Claudette Colvin.
Exactly.
Claudette Colvin sat down first, and unfortunately she was pregnant. She was pregnant as a teenager, so she could no longer be the face of the movement.
Right. So, so I found, all of this really interesting.
This is so good. This was really, really interesting. So I had heard of Jane Crow, and I'd known about them from Jane Crow, and of course from the National Organization of Women for Now, and like all the things with Now, but I did not know that much about their trans identity. I also. Wait, so like, is there any information about like them? Why did they decide to go back? Like, it's just so funny that they worked with like the Black civil rights organizations and couldn't find space there. Worked with the white feminist organizations, couldn't find space there, and then but found space where? At the church. The church. Interesting.
Yeah. The website didn't really go much into detail as far as like the transition from that into like the priesthood. It was just like, oh, they reconnected with their like Christian roots and the roots and stuff. But I'm sure there's probably like way more information out there.
What was the church like with the gender stuff is interesting. All right, I might have to read a book.
Yeah, read a book. Why they last? Why they here?
You're right. I hate reading.
Read while it's still legal, y'all.
Well, that was great. That was the StrapDown's Black History, last Black History Month segment. For today.
If we not in jail, we might do another one.
That's right. If this isn't illegal now. Also, don't comply in advance. It might be illegal to teach Black history in like a week and a half. Yeah. But like, not now. Teach it.
It's definitely illegal in Florida.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So, happy Black History Month, my people.
Stay black. Stay history.
Stay strapped.
Stay strapped. Stay history.
StrapDown.